A mystical force took a man to the other side right before his wedding. Where did the deadly evil force come from? Don't miss out. The psychics will reveal a real city of the dead. Welcome to Psychic Investigations, a project of true and shocking stories. Here, people who call themselves clairvoyants investigate mysterious paranormal phenomena and high-profile criminal cases. Tetiana is 29. She lives in a small Ukrainian town and works as a kindergarten teacher. And this is Sasha, Tetiana's high school sweetheart. Life took them in different directions after graduation, and they went to study at opposite ends of the country to pursue higher education.
I was the one who initiated the breakup.
Tetiana and Sasha didn't see each other for years. During this period, they both entered into marriage and bore children. However, 2 years ago, after she divorced her husband, Tetiana came back home with her daughter. There, she ran into Sasha, who was also single by then. The old affection was rekindled.
He said he had no meaning in life before our reunion. He said, "I don't understand why I'm so lucky to have you again."
Sasha had a special way with children. When Tetiana introduced him to Lisa, she took to him immediately.
The little girl even started calling Sasha Dad. Soon after, Tetiana discovered she was pregnant and was overjoyed. The couple decided to formalize their union and marry. But 2 weeks before the wedding, the man suddenly passed away.
On that day, I went to the city to pick up my wedding dress. I received 150 calls from him. He urged me to come home quickly, saying we would go fishing together.
Tetiana took the dress and went back home. After the lunch, the couple and their friends went to the local pond, and something absolutely odd started happening from that moment on.
He warned us all, "Don't even think about jumping after me."
Having warned everyone about the danger, the man then dove into the pond himself.
He gently rubbed Tetiana's belly and then jumped in.
What happened next remains a mystery to date. The friends say it looked like some kind of invisible force pulled him into the heart of the danger.
Then I turned around and saw his back.
It was a shock. Sasha dove into the pond, but didn't re-emerge for a few minutes. When his friends rushed to help and pulled him out, he was already dead.
I couldn't believe it. I hoped he would open his eyes.
The man broke his neck, and death was instantaneous, and his pregnant fiancée witnessed it all firsthand.
Everyone was shocked. Tetiana started screaming.
Tetiana lost the love of her life. Just weeks before the tragedy, the couple learned they were expecting a son. Thus, the boy became half-orphaned before even being born. And after the funeral, strange things started happening to the pregnant woman.
I had a wooden cross on a string around my neck. One morning, as I was washing up, but the string snapped and it fell off.
Tetiana thought it was an ominous sign, whether it was a coincidence or not. At Sasha's memorial service, she nearly lost her life herself.
After the service, we were driving home from the church when a wheel fell off.
The car veered off the road into the ditch. Tetiana miraculously survived, but soon found herself again on the brink of death.
As we were leaving the store, a car came out of nowhere and almost hit me.
Last year, in September, Tetiana gave birth. The labor was hard, and she lost a lot of blood and barely survived. The doctors made an incredible effort to save her, and less than a month later, she ended up in the intensive care unit again. During the baptism of her son in the church, Tetiana experienced anaphylactic shock.
It happened while the boy was being baptized. I had a severe allergic reaction to a wasp sting.
There were many people there, but only she has a severe allergy, and she was the only one stung by a wasp.
Within minutes, Tetiana's throat swelled up. She started struggling to breathe and passed out.
They rushed me to the hospital and gave me an injection just in time. Otherwise,
Only God knows what would have happened.
Tetiana didn't dwell on why so much misfortune was befalling her until she saw her deceased husband at home.
I got up in the middle of the night for a drink of water, and then I had the feeling that he was standing next to me. When I looked, I saw a shadow.
Tetiana rose in terror, thinking why she was seeing her deceased man. Was she going crazy? Was her deceased fiancé trying to take her to the other side? The young mother is desperate. She feared for her life. Even more, she fears that her little son might become an orphan. The psychics are her only hope of protecting herself from death.
I am terrified, and I really want them to come and help me.
At Tetiana's request, clairvoyant Yaroslava Fedorova agreed to help. When we showed the psychic Tetiana's photo, her vision shocked us.
For 3 nights in a row, I've been having nightmares. A murky, dirty, large stream of water, and in it, a coffin. In that coffin, there's a girl in a wedding dress, and she really looks like the one in this photo. Then, the ground starts cracking under my feet, and I find myself falling into another world. And there, everyone is dead and walks the streets like zombies. It's like a city of the dead.
Another psychic, Larisa Hutsanu, also had shocking visions.
I see a man from behind. He's running through the forest. He's terrified. And a crowd of people is chasing him. They're very strange. I see a woman without a head, and a man with his head split in half, and another man, as black as coal. They all want something from him. This running man.
But how are these terrifying visions connected to the constant threats to Tetiana's life?
Hello, come in, please.
Hello.
Let's go over there.
I have a feeling that I'm walking into a thick and sticky spider web.
And my ears pop.
Oh my! Ammonia! Bring the ammonia! The driver should have it in his first aid kit.
The psychic faints as soon as she enters the yard.
Give me your hand.
Yaroslava, wait. I felt cold hands on my neck, choking me. It was something from the other side. The entity was very aggressive. It was warning me to stay away from this house. I can't even stand. It's pulling me down to the ground. And I sense that someone has already mentioned it too.
Yes, my fiancé also said so. One night, I woke up to his screams. I couldn't wake him up. With great effort, he woke up. I asked him what he was dreaming about. He said something black grabbed him by the neck and was pulling him.
The psychics decide to check the energy inside the house.
A supernatural force resides here, like a spider spinning a web of energy throughout the rooms and hiding in wait. You have a child. He's just a baby.
Yes.
Little Oleksiy is sleeping now. While his mom talks to the psychics, his grandparents are watching over the boy.
Let's go see the yard. Sasha, I sense a sudden, violent death.
He loved and knew these places. He always said, "You have to be careful with water."
I feel like he had a previous experience with water.
Yes, it's true.
Did he fall into it? I sense he had an injury.
He had a back injury. His friend accidentally knocked him into the water. They barely saved him. After that, he spent 2 weeks in bed.
Well, he had sound reasons to warn you about the water. Then why, after all he'd been through, did Sasha so recklessly dive into the water again? Was some mystical force pushing him to his death?
to see the place where it happened.
Then I'll go with you. Mom will look after Oleksiy. May 24th was the last time I was here with my husband. I haven't been back since that incident.
Let me work here.
I see some kind of energy vortexes on the surface. There have been other deaths here.
Yaroslava, do you see the spirit? He's showing me that he fell asleep and slid into the water. He drowned.
That happened here, yes. He was sitting here and fell into the water while asleep.
No, but I see 3 other men.
People said it had happened here before.
About 5 years ago, a local man drowned there. He was 25 years old, and a boy also drowned. He dove and drowned.
Yes, many men die young here.
And I also see a girl from long ago. Such long, fair hair, very much like yours, bright blue eyes. She's dead, and she's here. But it seems more like a suicide.
I see water up to my knees and a coffin. A girl lies in the coffin, and they're carrying her.
That was the same vision I had this morning. A girl in a coffin, floating in a murky, swirling stream. So standing there, I expected the ground to crack beneath my feet. Just like in my dream. She didn't drown here. It seems she was driven out of her home. She couldn't go back. She had nowhere to go.
A girl named Vera lived here. She was a real beauty and had long, fair hair down to her waist. She had a mother, but they didn't get along, and so she went and drowned herself.
The girl was missing for several days. During that time, heavy rain poured down, with a month's worth of precipitation falling in a single week. The village was knee-deep in water.
I remember her funeral. There was water everywhere.
But what does the girl who committed suicide have to do with the deaths of Sasha and the other young men?
She's like a guarding spirit of this place, and she takes them. By the way, pay attention that they were all single. Young men drown every few years because the girl's spirit collects fiancés, and they drown around the same time she died. 3 of the other boys drowned in June, but Sasha drowned in May. Something doesn't add up here. The thing is that your fiancé has nothing to do with this all. He was drawn in. He's tied to death. I think we need to go back to your home and figure out what's going on there.
I hate this pond. It deprived me of everything I care about.
Unexpectedly, the psychics ask the driver to stop the van. They get out a few hundred meters from Tetiana's house.
I feel drawn over here. It's a completely dead crossroads. There are dead people here. There and there are the dead. We're walking on a road where the dead walk. There's the same fog as in your yard. Over here, on this side, I see 2 dead people. A man and a woman. Their bones are broken.
A man and a woman died in a car crash on this spot.
They stand in this black fog, and for some reason, they are drawn to your house.
They seem to be from long ago, about 20 years dead. So, Sasha can't be connected to their death. He was very young then. But the spirits are somehow drawn to the yard where he lived.
There's a black mass coming from over there. And there's a cross hanging here.
Who's standing there?
A burnt man.
A man burned here long ago, in the house.
I see a headless woman.
There was a woman who worked as an agronomist. A driver didn't see her and backed up. The truck ran over her head and crushed it.
All the spirits we saw on the road were highly unusual.
It's as if, after death, their souls didn't go to heaven or even stay on earth, but somehow fell into the ground.
And it feels like they spent a long time underground before they re-emerged on earth again. There's some kind of portal here, and all these people who died unnatural deaths are in this black fog.
What portal is the psychic talking about? How did it appear in this village?
At first, I saw an ordinary road, an ordinary village. And then, the ground beneath. My feet started cracking. And I saw an ancient city. A dead city.
It turned out that archaeologists unearthed the largest Scythian city, Galonis, not far from this village. The city stretched across several nearby villages.
The city of Galonis is unique. It's 34 kilometers wide. Even Babylon pales in comparison to Galonis.
This is amazing. Right beneath the psychic's feet lies the largest ancient city in Europe.
In the 3rd century BC, the city began to decline until it eventually turned into an ordinary town, covered by a layer of earth.
Modern Ukrainians built their homes on top of the ancient Galonis. But why do the spirits of people who die now end up in the underground city?
Maybe they died on a full moon, when portals between worlds open. But I don't understand why the spirits came to the surface. We'd better go somewhere else.
I couldn't get it why all those spirits were going to the yard where Sasha lived. Were they threatening Tetiana's son and her?
We need to talk to Sasha, and they all came here, you know. Can you work in such conditions?
I can't.
And then it hit me. Today is a full moon, and the portals between the worlds are open again. And for the spirits, this is a real chance to be freed. We could help. We needed to perform a ritual. This is the corridor that all those souls took. I poured water on the road to guide them to where they should go. Immediately. It's your son's grandfather, Sasha's father.
Sasha was only 13 when his father died. The man had a stomach ulcer and bled to death.
There's a deep sadness for his son. As a relative, he should have protected his son in some way, but he couldn't. The dead souls started following your husband after his father's death. He was in deep grief, struggling with the fact that he lost his father.
The psychics decide to try again to contact Sasha's spirit.
He's here, and he's crying, and...
He says, I am so grateful to you for being in my life. But I should have also thanked the one who gave us this gift. I turned away from God.
It's my sin.
When his father died, he, struck by severe grief, lost faith in God. And as a result, there was no guardian angel to watch over him.
I finally understood what choked me when I entered the house. It was the devil's messenger who was near the man. As soon as Sasha renounced God, the devil attached his messenger to him.
That's why his father's spirit couldn't protect him.
And this sin spread not only to you and him, but also to your child. Your son became a link between the energy of his dead father and living mother. The same force that threatened and eventually took her husband is threatening Tetiana.
You need to order prayer services for Sasha in 7 monasteries. And secondly, if your son becomes even too religious, you should support him instead of preventing it.
He wants to tell you something. Tatiana, you changed my life. You made me happy. Our son is part of me. I love you so much. Forgive me. And he's hugging you for the last time.
Just tell him that I love him a lot. Thank you so much for helping me.
A mystical entity has unleashed a hunt for children. Can the psychics stop the supernatural killer? Don't miss out. One of the most emotional investigations of the project. We received a plea for help from the Basenko family, Vitali, Natalia, and their children. These people are convinced that something supernatural lives in their home.
It's so terrifying when you sit and suddenly feel a breath on the back of your neck.
Sometimes I feel someone walk behind me and put their hand like this, but it's gone before I turn around.
I lie down to sleep and feel something climbing onto the bed and laughing. I can't move my hands or feet. It keeps climbing and crushes me, like a woman grabbing my neck.
Natalia is a homemaker. It's never been a problem for her to care for the livestock and cook delicious meals, but lately she's been afraid to enter the kitchen.
I was cooking in the kitchen. A knife was lying on the edge of the wood table. Then it suddenly fell and stuck into the board next to my foot.
Vitalius is a good provider and can turn his hand to anything. He repairs the machinery himself and often feels a presence while working outside.
I saw a reflection of some kind of silhouette in the glass of my welding helmet. The silhouette was dark and blurry.
After seeing this silhouette again, the man narrowly escaped an accident.
A concrete slab fell. I don't know how many tons it was, and I was standing right there, a couple of meters away.
The parents fear that not only they, but also their children can fall prey to the unknown entity at any moment. The family has decided to immediately seek help from the psychics.
They're our last hope, because I don't know where else to turn.
Yana Pasinkova and Yaroslava Fedorova answer the family's plea and take on the case.
I had a dream of a little girl. She was about 4 years old. First, she stood with her back to me, but then she turned around, and instead of a face, she had a human skull.
The cause lies in a woman who's gone.
A dead woman.
She's gone. The woman hides a secret locked away.
But I see a man. He holds a knife. He holds the knife, aiming at the woman. I hear a voice saying, "Stop! Please, stop here!"
We're still 2 kilometers from the Basenkos' house, but the van stops.
All right, I need to go there. I can't go any further. There's a snowdrift. Wait. He says, "Help me, help me." How can I help him?
Later, we discovered that there is a cemetery in the direction Yaroslava was pointing. Thousands of people are buried there, so we don't know whose spirit appeared to her or why he is calling her.
He says, "The answer is in the water." What water?
Meanwhile, our crew has set up sensitive equipment in the Basenkos' home, and what they captured defies any logical explanation. Something semi-transparent and dark, resembling the silhouette described by the father of the family, moves around the room.
The silhouette is dark and blurry.
Nobody in the crew has ever seen anything like that.
Do you see it? Here. You see it pass?
It looks like an ordinary shadow. Somebody passed, and their shadow fell there.
If there'd been someone there, they would have passed in front of the camera. The camera is right by the wall.
It really looks like something alive.
Or dead.
This is what the psychics are to figure out. They arrive at the house.
Hello.
Hello? Can we go there?
Of course.
I've seen a woman. She's gone, but she thinks the house is hers. She won't let you live here. You've almost lost your children twice. Surgery, intervention, knives.
Our son was at death's door. They saved him in Kiev at the endocrinology clinic.
He was one step close to death, just like when he was born. And then, when he was a year and 4 months old, he had severe dehydration.
The family's problems started a long time ago. But are those incidents related to what's going on in the house now?
Yana, over here. I see what you told me about.
Look, a woman. She owns the property.
Yes, a woman used to live here, but she died.
Vitaly bought this house a few years ago.
She didn't just die.
She was murdered.
The locals say the woman died of a heart attack.
It's a murder. No one knows about it, though. There's a man involved in her death.
She had a husband, and he would mistreat her.
Vitaly's mother, who lives next door, knew the late woman well.
She was a kind woman, but her husband did such things that only made her cry.
The woman died suddenly about 8 years ago, and at the time, no one found it suspicious that her husband refused the autopsy.
He said, "You won't bring her back to life, so why cut her open?"
He beats her day and night, but she's silent, and everyone pretends it's okay.
They were a very secretive family.
The woman's spirit said her husband murdered her and didn't face punishment. Naturally, she's angry and causing destruction all around.
The husband died of stomach cancer a few years after his wife's death.
She demands justice. She's bound to this place, and she suffers because she wants the truth to be revealed. She's determined to bring attention to her cause by any means necessary.
She wants to leave this place. She shows the gate. The gate opened.
We needed to pacify the woman's spirit.
Let us perform a ritual.
The woman will no longer disturb you.
Yana. There he's standing. A dead man. He's tall and muscular, and his hair's dark.
That's my father.
It was the same spirit that called me when we drove past the cemetery. He says the answer is in the water.
He was found drowned.
Vitaly's father, Petro Basenko, drowned in the local lake 6 years ago. But why do the psychics see his spirit? Could his death be linked to the entity trying to wipe out the entire family?
Go to the water. Where can we find water here?
It's far from here.
All the answers are in the water.
The psychics and the family hurry to the lake. However, they can't reach it, as the snow is knee-high. We call a tractor, The crew and the psychics wait for it for 3 hours. Finally, it arrives, but something incredible happens right before our eyes. It appears that an unseen force overturns the multi-ton vehicle.
My God. Look.
And the wheels above the ground.
Some kind of force wouldn't let us go there. This is not an ordinary lake.
Cars overturned here, and so did a combine and a tractor. Vehicles overturned on both sides of the pond.
The deaths are inexplicable. I see children. I see an older man and a younger man.
There are lots of them.
Many people drowned there.
Lots of them?
Yes, I alone found 2.
My cousin drowned. He was a sailor. He was trying to save a girl, but drowned himself. My godfather also drowned.
It turns out that many people have indeed drowned in this lake. At least 2 deaths occur here every year, and they are all quite mysterious. The locals fear for their lives and avoid the lake.
It feels like this isn't water but a cemetery, you see?
It's an ancient cemetery. People were buried shallowly here, and the water washed them away.
Do I understand it right that it's a flooded cemetery?
As we found later, there used to be a ravine with a cemetery here. But over several decades it was flooded by groundwater, which washed the bones out of their graves.
The water that washed over a dead person, as well as any water that was at the cemetery for some time, is what we call dead water. This entire lake, with its flooded graves, is dead water. And the locals swim in this dead water.
That's why people often die here. Vitali's father also died from this dead water.
Why did he call me here? He says all the answers are in the water. I thought maybe the spirit of the dead father was drawing his son's attention in this way. He forced Vitali to ask us for help because the lake where his body was found is a real threat to the whole village. We need to bless the lake, and the church should tell the people how to ask for forgiveness from the deceased whose rest they disturbed.
I see the woman again. There's the woman, and there's a hole in the ground. The hole almost took your child.
Our daughter fell into the well.
But it wasn't here.
Over that way.
Do you mean you have another house?
I did, yes.
It turned out that this Basenko family has only lived in their current house for the past 3 years. Before that, they lived on the other side of the village, where the tragedy occurred with their then little daughter, Oksana. When the girl was 5, she fell into an almost empty well.
She and our neighbor's boy were playing there, and they decided to check what's in the well, and she suddenly fell into it. She cried, "Mommy, pull me out." But the well there is very deep.
It was terrible. I tried to climb out, but I couldn't.
The father wasn't at home. Natalia couldn't pull the girl out on her own. The neighbors came running, hearing the woman's screams. Among them was Grandpa Petro, Vitali's father. It was he who threw a rope into the well, climbed down, and rescued his granddaughter.
She clung to him by the neck and wouldn't let go.
The man's spirit said that the answer was in the water. But there's water both in the lake and the well.
I need to see that house.
We set out to the house where the Basenkos used to live.
Could we talk to the owners?
Yes. Hello. Tanya, could you please come to see us?
The house is now abandoned. Vitalis sold it to his friends, but they couldn't stay within its walls for long.
I had this feeling that someone was following me. I clearly felt someone's gaze, but when I turned around, there was nobody there. And the footsteps in the attic, like someone was walking up there. The kids were restless and couldn't sleep.
Tanya and her family moved in with her parents. They were too terrified to stay in the house.
Good evening. Tanya, pleased to meet you.
Evil lives here. This is its abode.
Yes, it bangs and it knocks and chandeliers fall for no reason. Even at night, something dark and shadowy came to press down on me, and I saw a black shadow.
Could the same dark entity be present in both houses, driving out not only the Basenkos, but anyone who settles in these walls?
It seems that this force clung to this family in their old home and is haunting them wherever they go. There's something bad. The horrible creature from my dream. The little girl with the skull instead of her face. But now, instead of the eyes, she had shards of a mirror. Stop.
A window at the back of the house shattered. Nobody understands how it happened.
Such things happen all the time.
I'm going inside.
When I ask what's in common between the old and new residents of the house, do you know what the cards say? They are united by dead children. You paid with your child.
My child, my daughter, was hit by a car. Her name was Yulia.
It turned out that soon after moving into this house, a terrible tragedy befell Tanya's family. Their 4-year-old daughter, Yulia, was killed by a car right outside the gate.
I was at home making dinner. She said, "Mom, I'm going to Grandma Olya's," and then I heard a crash, and that was it.
The girl died on the spot. The driver, of course, defended himself as best he could, but his testimony was far too strange. The man claimed that a woman pushed the girl under the wheels. Oh, his car. But at the same time, he couldn't describe the woman.
People point fingers at her, saying she did it.
People told me that all the time. They said I pushed her on purpose to get rid of her.
It's quite possible that the driver wasn't lying. He really did see a woman, but she was dead. A spirit pushed the child. That's what the cards show me.
At that very moment, in the house where Yaroslava Fedorova was working, a mirror shattered into pieces right in front of the camera crew.
A dead woman with an axe. She dances with the devil, like she's possessed.
She would indeed laugh for no reason.
It turns out the Babasenko family bought this house after the strange woman who lived here passed away.
This house is haunted by the spirit of that insane woman, and it's possible that she could attack anyone who settles here. But to stop her, we need to understand the reason for her anger. And the main question is, what do the children have to do with this?
The woman killed a man.
She strikes him on the head with the axe.
This sounds incredible, but it's a fact. The neighbors confirm it.
She killed her husband and hid his body not far from the house. People found the bones.
The motive of the murder remains unknown to date.
She doesn't understand what she's doing. Her eyes are glassy. She had some kind of grief, like yours, a small child.
The woman lost her child here.
No one knows what happened to the toddler. The neighbors only know the girl suddenly disappeared. Could the insane mother have killed her own daughter?
I need to read the cards. I need to sit somewhere here. The key to the mystery lies in the death of the first child. Whoever killed that child is killing all the others. Did the woman do it? No. She buried her here. Guys, we have a body.
Yes.
We found it by accident during the renovation.
Vitaly found a child's body buried on site while he was digging a trench on the property.
Indeed, a skull and a skeleton. We called the police and forensic experts. They took the bones for examination.
Everything pointed to the crazy owner of the house, but she didn't kill her child. The girl was taken not by someone, but by something. And only after that, her mother went insane.
She's also a victim. Some demonic force killed her daughter. Just like it killed Tanya's daughter, and it tried to kill Natalia's daughter in the well. This place takes children. If it hadn't been for your father, the girl wouldn't be here.
The grandfather said the answer was in the water. I looked at the well and saw the girl again, her face a skull, her eyes shards of a mirror.
The ill fortune comes from the well.
I approached the girl and looked into her eyes, and in the shards, I saw a reflection of a woman with incredibly long black hair. She was looking into the mirror and whispering something. She has long, dark hair and large, bright lips.
Gypsies used to live here.
The elderly villagers remember a gypsy family living in this house over 70 years ago.
The woman has abilities, and she gives hope to mothers about their children.
The gypsy woman who lived in that house could remove curses. She could save children from the other world. When children were seriously ill, they were brought to her.
She says, I take their misfortunes into my hands. All these misfortunes are here, in this water.
Get me a little water. There's something at the bottom. Something the woman placed there.
The gypsy woman practiced magic, sealing all the negativity, curses, evil eye, and children's illnesses into an object. Then she threw it into the well, but I don't know what kind of object it was.
Rubina. She's very knowledgeable. She's a gypsy herself. Let's ask her.
The clairvoyants called their colleague, Rubina Cybulska, over Skype for advice.
What's used in gypsy magic?
Sand, cards, and a mirror.
I'm having goosebumps all over my body.
But it can also be used to remove curses, illnesses, and even deaths. You seal them in a mirror.
I feel her dump something.
A gypsy woman who practices magic would never throw away her working mirror, because if it breaks, it releases a terrible force that can kill.
So, the gypsy woman removed illnesses from children, lifted curses, and sealed them all in her mirror. All this negative energy accumulated in incredible amounts, turning the mirror into an entity.
When the gypsy left, she, for some unknown reason, threw the mirror into the well, and it broke.
And then I realized who the girl with mirror shards for her eyes was. The deadly entity made of hundreds of children's illnesses and deaths took on the form of a child.
Years later, someone opened the well, the woman who moved in after the gypsies. She released the entity and fell its victim. The well must be sealed.
For that, we need a small clay pot and milk, and a handful of coins.
Thank you.
We shouldn't simply thank these people, but carry them in our arms.
If you are moved by this story, don't forget to give this video a like and subscribe to our channel. Many more astonishing investigations are coming up.